Alright, I think everything's working. Good afternoon or evening or whatever time of day it is for you, ladies, gentlemen and Xenos of all ages and everything in between. And welcome to another Tactica Imperialis livestream. Oh boy, it's been a while. It's been a damn long while since we had a stream, innit? It's a very damn long... Whoops, that's the wrong button. It's been a damn long time. It's been a damn long time since we had a stream. The reason for that is because now, as you can see, I'm back at my home. I'm back at my house where I live, not during university time, which means that I actually have good Wi-Fi. So this stream happens courtesy of having good Wi-Fi that isn't Edgerome, because Edgerome can get in the bin. Well, actually, no, I lie. Edgerome is fine. It's just, it doesn't work consistently in my room. It drops out all the time. So I just don't have good enough Wi-Fi to stream at my desk because I can't even maintain Wi-Fi for half an hour on my phone, never mind my laptop. So here we are, we have a live stream. I'm probably only going to go for an hour, maybe an hour and a half at most tonight. I want to do a little bit of a stream since it's nearly Christmas. I might as well give you some sort of a gift considering I'm not really in a position to change up my content much from week to week. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a stream for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I hope you all have fun. I have with me, in case somebody hasn't got it yet, I have Chapter Approved 2018. I did buy... Oh, what the... What? No, don't give me error messages, dashboard. Output low. What? What? I don't know. I don't know at this point. If my home Wi-Fi, it's not dropping any frames, CPU usage is fine, frame rate's fine, kilobit rate's fine. Not sure. The sync, oh the sync. Yeah, that sync will go down in history as the most annoying sync that ever synced, because it won't shut up. Sorry, I've got a... Oh! I was just saying I've got a game of football on in the background. British football, not you hand egg people, Americans. Proper football, and my team are playing, so just thought I'd have that on in the background on mute. Let's talk about the 80 days. The 80 days, you're referring to Harken World claim as 80 days, correct? Now, disclaimer, I have not bought Vigilus Defiant. So whatever happened in Vigilus Defiant, I don't know. I need to put that disclaimer there. I don't know what happened in Vigilus Defiant. So if it's something to do with that, then I apologise. Forge World artwork? That's a lovely goal, by the way. Forge World artwork. Let me see. Is there a question from Forge World here? Of course there isn't. Let's go with Forge Worlds. Forge World will have GW. Forge World. No, that's... No, I don't know where that is. Did that get posted on like Facebook or something? Because if it did, I missed it and I apologise. Been a little bit busy today. Forge World Facebook page, thank you. Forge World's Facebook page. Sorry, I know I'm being exceptionally unprofessional right now, but it helps. So, Forge World? It is, but I mean, do you think it will be the release of Abaddon, his Merry Band of Misfits, or just hype for Vigilus 2? I guess that's it. Let's have a look at this. If I can. Ah, Sanguinius vs. Cabanda. Ah, yeah. Oh yeah, I think I saw some people posting about this. I mean, it's cool artwork. Cabanda looks awesome, and Sanguinius looks suitably badass. Yeah, Cool artwork. If that's what we're getting at, cool artwork. Do I think the 80 days is just hype for Abaddon? Ooh, there's a question. I don't think it's just hype for that. I think it's a mix of things. I think that it's going to be partly... It may lead up to a new Abaddon model, but it's... From what I remember reading about World Claimer, his gimmick is 80 days for him to take the world. It's 80 days till Vigilus falls, not 80 days until Abaddon comes for Vigilus. So, it could be either. So, I think that we won't see Vigilus 2 for a bit. I don't think we're going to see it for a few months because we've just got to let things bed down now that we've set everything up. So I think it'll probably be... January's covered. Between Moon Clan and Genius of the Cult, January is covered. Slanesh is there. That's got to come out as well. So I think it will be mid-February, late February, early March, I think is probably the most likely time we'll see Vigilus 2, if there is a Vigilus 2. As for Abaddon, I think it's plausible. I don't want to say it's linked to this, but I think it's very plausible that we'll get a new Abaddon. I don't want to say for sure. Animated series, yes, that's the Hell's Reach team, or Hell's Reach person, I believe it is, who is supervising that project. That should be pretty awesome, and I think it will be pretty damn good that they're focusing on the Blood Angels and the floor and diddly-diddly-dee. Yeah, that would work. I know my friends fans are hoping it's Abaddon, makes sense. Is there such a thing as spending too much money on ghouls? If you play Flesh Eater Courts a lot, probably not. AOS Big FAQ. I was a little disappointed by the AOS Big FAQ because if you take it as what it is, where the only new bits are the bits in magenta, there's not that many changes. It's basically just the AOS Big Errata. It's not like 40k's Big FAQ, where they've introduced new rules, they've introduced new ideas, balance changes. It's been an errata and a small amount of balancing, I think. At least that's how I've seen it, and I might be misreading some of it, but a lot of it seems to be clarifications and errata, at least in the main article, as opposed to rules changes like a big 40k FAQ is. So, don't know. I think it's interesting that it's there, but it's not quite grabbed me into make a video like the 40k one did. 80 days is a bit more than 2 months. If they actually make it so that 80 days after Vigilus Defiant comes out, they drop the next preview for whatever happens with Vigilus, then I give GW full props, and I'll just nod and smile at that point. I like this introduce a whole new model. Yeah, I don't think they're going to kill World Claimer. I think World Claimer's going to lose, but I don't think he's going to die. I'll say that. I like how it changes is a good thing. Yeah, it's just when they call it the big FAQ, when what they call 40k's big FAQ was huge, grandiose changes to the fabric of the game. I don't know, maybe I got my expectations a little bit too high that they were going to be doing a balance pass and updating the rules. The fact they didn't feel the need to do that is obviously great because it shows that the game is healthy as it is. But yeah, I think it works both ways. I think it'd have been nice if it was a fuller change so we could talk about new mechanics and new ideas, but at the same time it shows the game's in a healthy state that they don't feel they need to fix. So take it both ways, I suppose. I hope Abaddon beats the snot out of him and continues his trend of heavily punishing failure. Oh yeah, World Claimer, if he loses, which I suspect he will probably be maybe even exiled from the Black Legion. He won't die, but he will suffer pretty heavily at Abaddon's hands. Also, I've got chocolate. Also, I apologise if you can hear a clock, by the way. The clock that's in this room is ridiculously loud. The clock that's in my room at uni is also really loud, but I move it to the other side of the room when I'm recording so you don't hear it, but I don't want to move anything around in here. Well, aside from the table to put my mic on. Big FAQ, big letdown. I'd hesitate to call it a letdown because as much as it is disappointing that there isn't a ginormous amount of new rules to digest, that shows that the game is healthy. So I think it is not a letdown. it's disappointing for the YouTuber in me, sorry. It's disappointing for the YouTuber in me, but not for the gamer in me. I think it's a good thing that we're not seeing the game be massively patched. Oh, the sync's not here. The sync's back in Manchester. I'm back to the other side of the hill, so not going to hear that. Hype for Wrath and Rapture. Yeah, I put my video out for Wrath and Rapture yesterday, and I think it is a really good box set, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it next, whether they build on it, and what this means for Slaanesh going forward, because that anti-magic mechanic they've given Slaanesh, what's that all about? Well, not anti-magic, but magic disrupt to Slaanesh. What the? That's news to me, but maybe someone's got something that I didn't see in the lore and I just haven't noticed before. Bloody hell, it's raining so hard. Also, if you have questions about chapter approved, then just shout up and I'll happily provide any clarifications, because I do have it. I can talk about the 8, Cities of Death, whatever. Do you play into animation? I think it'll be cool. Obviously, we haven't seen any of it yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it is when it comes out. Essentially, Sanguinius from Forge World. Well, the teaser, it's not a teaser. The thing about Sanguinius is we know he's coming, because the next Heresy book is Cygnus Prime. Whether Sanguinius is the next Primarch is not clear at this moment. That big teaser that they've got that's coming out on Christmas Day, I believe, that will give us more information. But I'm not that surprised about Sanguinius, so I think it'll be good to see him, and I'm sure I'll love the model, but I've not got any extra hype for Sanguinius that teaser gave me above the fact that Book 8 is coming. Why don't I play Khorne? Because I don't like Chaos. I think that's probably the best answer I can give you. Chaos as a faction has never really appealed to me. So I've always played, I played Orcs, then I played Guard, then I played Tau. In AOS I've always played Order factions, and I've looked at Destruction. I've never been fussed by Chaos as a faction, though I do admit it has some very cool characters. It's never something I really want to play. So that's probably why. Admittedly, my first army was nearly Red Corsairs, but I've gone cold on Chaos since then. Right. You'll need to be more specific about what's meta, because I don't know what's meta. Can the Intercessor Sergeant go Power Fist Bolt Rifle? Yes, the Intercessor Sergeant may either replace their Bolt Rifle with a Chainsaw, Power Sword, or Power Fist, or take a Chainsaw, Power Sword, or Power Fist in addition to their other weapons. So yes, you can. Did the normal Lance Cannon get a points drop? Let's see, Space Marines. Okay, the Space Marine one didn't. Did the Guard one get a point drop? Let's see. No, the las cannon has not been changed. Cognis las cannons have been changed for Mechanicus, and there are probably some like variants that have been changed, but the las cannon itself has not been changed. I'm going to do my own voice crazy fresh from Vigilus. I don't own Vigilus. As I say, I have chapter approved. I don't have Vigilus Defiant, so I don't know. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. Which Horse Herod's character uses an axe? Oh, this is the thing for Christmas Day. I'm going to say it's going to be Jagtai Khan. My first bet for the character series is it's going to be Jagtai Khan. I have no reason to back that up unless they're going to introduce a new White Scar named character on a jet bike. Because that to me, considering we already have Russ, makes me think it's a mounted character, and jet bike is probably the best bet. So, yeah. I'm going to go Jagtai Khan, even though he doesn't use an axe. It's the best bet I've got. Seem to be really splitting up into the Chaos Guards to making them each of their own faction rather than four facets of the same Uber faction. Yes, this is particularly true in Age of Sigmar, I think. Because obviously there is no crossover beside the demons, and they're all obviously separate. Yes, Khan did use a saber. This is why I'm saying this is my best guess, because it's not Khan, but him or a White Scar character is my best bet, because I don't think it's going to be a Thunderwolf mount. Thunderwolves were so mythical that them being unleashed in M41 was kind of a big deal. So I don't think it's going to be a Wolf character. I think it's going to be a White Scar character, to tie in with the fact that the White Scars are coming in Book 8 of the Heresy. Is this about Axe? I think it's plausible that it's a Space Wolf, but I don't want it to be a Space Wolf. I think it'd be cooler being someone else. Especially because there's no characters on Wolves in Book 7, so they'd have to make somebody new up. What do you think of the new rules for the 8? I think they're good. I haven't used them yet. I'm hoping they're going to use them soon. But the one thing that I find a little bit sucky is you lose 3 command points for taking them. You pay 3 command points to take them. You can't put them in any detachment other than one on their own, presumably to balance up the fact that they've got many commanders, so the commander nerf does not apply. You're locked into a pretty crappy warlord trait, Hero of the Enclaves, on Farsight, which is alright, considering it's Farsight, it's not too bad, but it's not that stellar. You don't get any extra Monk Car, aside from the one Farsight gives you extra already, so whoop. Septenet, it requires you to castle up when your army is 22 models strong, so it's not that amazing. Drone Sport, it's alright. I don't know how amazing it's going to be, but there are some useful things. So like, wow, that's actually useless. So Bright Sword is harder to charge because his shield drones are Warscapers. Bravestorm has a 6+ feel no pain roll. The Pure Telegram Neuro Chip can give you a command point on a 6. And you also get a few rerolls out of it. You've got a Repulsor Impact Field when you get charged with Arachon. The Neuroweb Jammer is a good way of doing reinforcement denial, and also it makes her harder to shoot, which is good because she's got to get close. Ovasa's Pilot Array is useful because it's more likely to hit things, and he doesn't always get nuked by the Nova Reactor. And Oblotai actually is probably one of the strongest because he's got a target lock effectively for free, in that he can move and fire freely. And he's also -1 damage, so it's -1 to damage him. To a minimum of 1, of course. Which is useful for keeping him alive. Yeah. We're talking Tower briefly because we're just talking about the 8 for a little bit. Nothing special. Oh, go away, little notification about my energy, I don't care. Kabanda. Oh, Kabanda's not a bad idea. I think it's too low to the ground to be Kabanda, personally. And if it is Commander, it's at a very interesting angle that they've managed to pull a very good swerve with it. Has Bjorn got a model? No, but he didn't have a wolf at the time that I know of. No goods need to basically their own things. Why not do the same thing with Khorne and Slaanesh? I mean, Khorne is its own thing. In AOS especially, Khorne has got the Bloodbound. It is very much its own thing. Blades of Khorne, Magakin of Nurgle, Disciples of Tzeentch, Host of Slaanesh. 40k, they're not quite there yet, but maybe they will be. We'll see when Angron and Fulgrim, if they come along, they might get their own codex. We'll see. Do you think with the return of detachments, we'll see the return in some form of the old formations? We already have. The Stomper mob is back. And that is one of those apocalypse formations, as you would call it. So, yes, but I don't think they're going to be quite as silly as, hopefully they're not as unbalanced as the 7th edition formations that basically broke the game. Yeah, he's offside, okay, fine. Most teams, Slaanesh, okay, let's talk about Slaanesh. Looks like a wolf riding a bear that's wielding an axe, but Space Wolves don't have, I don't know. I'll run over the demons quickly. I won't be able to give, I'll probably have to go, like, Chaos Demons. Blood Crushers, Bloodthirsters, Bloodthirster, Blue Scribes, Burning Chariot, Changecaster, Demonettes are now 6 points a model. Exalted Seeker Chariot is now 80 points, including weapons. Fiends, 42 points. Hellflayers are 70, Heralds are 60, Keeper of Secrets is 165. The Mask is 65. Seeker Chariots are 50. Seekers are 15 each. And the Sword Grinder is 180. There you go. Forge will preview merge different pictures of one horrible mess, so it could be everything. Maybe. Want my Titan hammer back. Titans are still in the game, just not everybody's able to use them. Started a Dark Elder army camp at the back burn, don't have all the weapons I need. Yeah, I get that. Like Venoms and Witches and Carmelites and what are you doing, Keeps? And all of that. They don't always come with all the weapon options, I do sympathise. So yeah, I feel you on that. The detachment was super hungry for command points. I don't think they'll be OP in the same manner as 7th. Then again, clever armor building does give a billion CP. Yeah, this is what I think, is that they need to be tested. They need a lot of play testing from us now to see if they are unbalanced. They need to be readjusted, either up or down. We shall see. I quite like this setup. Football in the background, stream in front of me, food. Alexander and Hammer Terminator kneecapping Titans. That's more likely, that's just as likely now as it was then once you get through the Void Shields. Because your weapons are like damage D6 each, so you can probably do some serious hurt to a Titan if you can get through its armor. So, if you can get there, it's not that bad. So. Okay. Thoughts on the sisters? Right. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't care that much about Sororitas in general. But looking at their cost, rather remind myself, hang on. Their relics are okay, their relics are very good. Okay, the relics are very good. Warlord traits. Not bad. Pretty decent. Furies. Well, this is getting new models. Yes, they're working on them already, just not yet. Let's have a look at their costs if we can. So a Battle Sister is 9 points a model. That's pretty good. Canonesses are very, very cheap, 45 points. Arco-Flagellant, Celestians 11 points, Crusaders 9 points, Death Cult Assassins. Dialogus, Celestine is 160. I hesitate to say whether they're good or not because I haven't got a clue, but they don't seem overcosted too much. They seem alright. We'll have to see how they go in tourneys and whatnot, but I think they're in a not bad space. So in general, is that using to do my math hammer against? Yeah, I mean they're a decent tester. They should get their own knightly order. If you mean ecclesiarchy aligned knights, then no, that's not how the knights work. They're Adeptus Terra or Adeptus Mechanicus, not the ecclesiarchy. Being technical. Right. Why are we talking about Primaris Lysander here? I think it would be interesting. I don't know if it's a great idea, but it's an interesting idea. Sororitas did take a nerf from the index, however the only reason people weren't whining about them is because no one played them, they legitimately had Soul Burst. Yeah, I've heard they did take a little bit of a beat down compared to the index, but that's probably because they've probably been balanced with their order convictions and all of that stuff now. So hopefully they're in a decent space. Will we get Vigilus for the lore? Oh, I'm going to get Vigilus. It's got gameplay and lore stuff for me. There's going to be the specialist detachments. I want to try the specialist detachment, like the Cult of Speed and the Dread Mob. I want to try them. And the Tower ones as well, if they're something that I can fill. So, yeah, I'm getting Vigilus. No doubt about that, I'm getting it. For lore and for gameplay. Understandable. Losing Wagons. Obviously they're not for match play, but I'm glad to see them back, and I think it's good they've got a bunch of different variants. One complaint, not enough guns. They don't have any unique weapons. They're just recycling the guns from the Orc Codex, and there's nothing really... The only gun that I didn't recognise was the Gatling shooter, whatever it's called. I think that might have genuinely been the only weapon that was new. Was the, what's it called? The Mega Gatler. Because the Super Gatler is what lives on the Stomper, and the Mega Shooter is the Gorkanaut. Like, genuinely, that might be the only gun that I didn't recognise, which is kind of a shame. I kind of wish that they'd had more unique weapon options for them than that. But, hey, can't have it all. Celestine is on her own, yes, and you take the Gemini separately. That's true. I remember that now. Willing to put money on Pedro and Lysander getting upgraded. I'm surprised Cantor hasn't been already. I thought he'd have been the first, but obviously Calgar gets that honour. But yeah, I think Cantor will get one. No Tau detachment, but many, like a good chunk just for Orcs. Yeah, I knew there was like 3 or 4 for Orcs. Shame that there's no Tau ones yet, but that does mean that whenever they do another set of detachment, the Tau should get one, which will be good for me to try. But then again, they did get the 8 right now, so yeah. Orcs need help. I've not played them. I'm going to try and play with my Orcs over this Christmas period and New Year before I go back for my exams, but I haven't played with them yet. And I can't play with them properly at full power yet because I haven't got all the new stuff. I've got a War Trike, but I haven't built it yet because I've been damn busy. He's not. They're not going to kill Gilman off. They're just not. I'm sorry. They're just not. If they were going to kill him, they'd have killed him in the Gathering Storm. Or they'd have killed him almost immediately afterward. At this point, he's back, he's in charge, he's staying. I'm afraid. Orcs don't need help, they're really, really good. I've heard really mixed things about the Orcs as to whether they're insane or not, but I'm willing to give them a go, and hopefully they're not too insane because I don't like playing overpowered armies. So yeah. What promo do you think they'll bring back next? I've always held to Angron or Fulgrim. I don't really mind which, but more likely to be Fulgrim, I think, given if they're going to do anything, they'll do Slanesh. Cortez. Oh yeah, Cortez. I didn't realise he used to have a model back in the day, but from Rin's World, the novel. Yeah. Be cool if they did him, though I doubt it, considering they'd have to introduce a new named character, and that unbalances things in the data sheets between all of the chapters that aren't Ultramarines. So, I doubt it, but hey, maybe. Okay, on a quote-unquote then. Calgar is a trial and error guy. I mean, there's an argument. Yeah, I mean, I've always assumed that Gilman and Calgar don't get on, and it's kind of very heavily implied. But someone raised a comment that was like, Gilman puts a lot of pressure on Calgar because he expects a lot of Calgar as his sort of immediate successor, as the chapter master. So, I don't know. I think... I haven't read Vigilance Defiant, so I don't know if they picked Calgar because crash test dummy. I don't know. Tower always going to be yeah, that's fair. Maybe that's what the teaser put out with the 80 days. Wait and see. Wait and see. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's say clear it. Lorgar, Corax, Khan. Which was out of place. I mean, Corax would be a bit of a surprise. It's Corax. Khan would be a bit weird. Anyone who's dead that they resurrect through plot convenience. Yeah. I think of the ones that we still believe are alive, I think Corax would probably be the most out of place. It's like, why is he here? But, personal opinion. Good work. Forge is going to make a Sanguinius model. It will be pretty bloody good, I hope. I think it'll be pretty good, but we'll see. Russ and I return at the same time meet on Prospero. No. Bear in mind, A, Prospero's gone, and B, where Prospero was is now Sortiarius. So, no, I don't think so. Let's get Khan back, and then Khan and Lion are most likely. On the Loyalist side, yes, those two are the most likely. But that doesn't make them at all the most likely of all. I think I want Lorgar back mainly so I can see what his damn model looks like. Because we don't really have much artwork of Demon Lorgar, so I'd like to see more artwork of Demon Lorgar and more an image of what he looks like. So that's kind of why I want Lorgar back. That's all. Same with Pert, to be fair. So they say the Master Warriors baked from our pits during the Demon Invasion on a bike. I'll have to go and double check that. But we don't know if the Primarchs were biologically immortal, unlike the Custodes, so it may be that he'd be very, very old by now and possibly dead of old age, because we don't know if the Primarchs age in the same way at all like humans. It will not be Horus. Horus is dead twice. They killed Horus twice. Once the Emperor did it, then Abaddon did it just for good measure. Ref. Touch and bang. Sorry, very distracted. Have I seen the 8 data sheets? Yes, I've been studying them a bit. I think they're reasonable. They're not going to break the game. I don't know if they'll be that useful, considering the fact that, oh, referee! -3 command points to use them. No competitive army will run them because it's -3 CP to use them. But they are cool, and it's good to see them. They can't get on with buttheads if he returns. Yes, because that's what Primarchs do. They argue a lot. So, yes. Prospero is still there, but it's broadly in the same place as Sortiarius. So if you go to Prospero, you're basically right next to Sortiarius. So, no, you wouldn't go there. Well, now the Imperium's going to react once Gilman puts out his codex about the Imperium's history. The Codex Imperialis, the most confusing document. Why is this a thing? Why is Gilman trying to tell an accurate Imperial history? He's been dead for 10,000 years of it. What? Why? How is he going to know? Remembrances were probably crap during the last 10,000 years, so sure, he might have an accurate-ish read on early Imperial history, but it's not going to be a complete Imperial history like he says it is. But I'm interested to read it. It would be very, very funny to see what it looked like when it was read, to see how much truth was in there compared to doctored for the use of Imperial citizenry. Emperor was an amazing father, it's all chaos propaganda. Sorry, no. Khan wasn't friends with Gilman, they didn't butt heads all that much. Yes, but now Gilman's Lord Commander, and it's a whole different ballgame. I feel like there'd be an argument. Plus, Khan's probably, if he's still alive, has been common around for 10,000 years and has got that I've seen a lot of S face. So, yeah. Believe the part I mentioned was in Game of Storm 2. It makes sense because that's when the disjunction happened, so yeah, it would make sense. Is he just going to lie? He might just lie. Or be lied to. Not sure. So, it's plausible. Half time. Plot twist, he's writing the Imperialis as a way to be allowed asking around what happened to a random person not looking like an idiot. I mean, to be fair, the best people to ask are the custodians, in some ways, because they've been alive through it all, so they'll remember the War of the Beast era, or at least they'll have records of it, and of the Age of Apostasy. If anyone's going to know, the custodians will know. So, you wouldn't like too much of an idiot asking, maybe not Valoris, but the custodians, record keepers. Funny observation, that. I agree. Restricted to people who can be trusted to handle the truth. No one can handle the truth. That's the thing. Another part of the Plague Wars where Gilman learns the value of lying. There was a part in the Great Scouring where he learned the value of bending the rules. I haven't read Plague War. Disclaimer, I haven't read it, so I don't know. If you can find me the quote, then I'll happily provide commentary on it, but I haven't got that particular quote. No idea on that particular question, though. Hard to know. Very many of the Promots did have a mother figure in their lives. Gilman certainly did. How soon do you think Dante is going to die? Not soon. Depends on how fast the timeline keeps moving along. Unfortunately, I don't think Lord Inquisitor Remlace has quite got his phone number in Imperial records to give to Gilman. Would the custodians give him access to the library? Even now they look to him with suspicion. I mean, under close observation saying, I would like to know what happened in this incident. I mean, that's one thing. Sure, giving him unfettered access to read every single thing the custodians ever wrote, maybe not. But access to at least seeing what happened in the key incidents in Imperial history so at least understands the situation. I think that's possible. I think I was going to be mad where he sees how bad the Imperium flipped up during the War of the Beast. To be fair, he's probably been mad with how the entire Imperium flipped up the entire time. The War of the Beast is just one example of the Imperium flipping up. Have we ever seen you a permanent member for Adeptus Podcastus? I don't want to comment on whether we'll get somebody permanent because it's not just my decision to make. Because obviously, Remlace and I have always made sure that we've had that time committed every other Friday for now, over 2 years at this point. So asking someone to then come on board and give up that time every single fortnight is a lot to ask of some people. And I'm not sure if the other people that we were, the great guests, there are some fantastic guests, you're just dropping a couple of names in the chat, there are some fantastic guests that we've had. And I'd love to have them on more often. And we may well get them back on quite often. But permanently, I don't want to say. It's not my place to make permanent choices because it's mine and Remlace's podcast. And secondly, it depends on what those other people are willing to do / capable of doing, because people have lives and jobs and families. They can't be everywhere. Yes, there are different orders in the Sisters. They've got 6 different order convictions now. See, the Emperor might die. I don't think we'll ever see it. I think the answer is yes, but we'll never see it. I don't think it'll happen in canon that that event will ever come to pass, personally. You've also got to consider, just something to keep in mind, what's fun and interesting for one episode or a few episodes isn't necessarily something that's going to stick. Like, if it's something like, it's like episode 50. Take episode 50 of the podcast. That was amazing. We had a huge amount of people on, there were a lot of fun, lots of great conversations and ideas and all that stuff. That was fantastic. But would you want that every single time? Or would it eventually just stop being interesting and just become repetitive? You've got to think about it, it's like the fun niche ideas of like, oh yeah, make sure the guest is drunk every week or whatever. It would get old. Like, I grate on some people. There's comments we get every episode that people that don't like the way I talk and the way I act on the podcast. And that's fine. But we try, as much as we stay within our sort of broad formula, to not, by cycling through guests and having different people on and different discussions, we try and keep it fresh that way. So mannerisms can get annoying because my mannerisms annoy people. And people are quite blunt with telling me that I can be, in some people's words, a bit of a twat on the podcast. And so, yeah, mannerisms can get grating. It very much will depend. I mean, Lion could do that, possibly. We did get Alpha as a guest alone. Episode 47 is Alpha, Remlays, and I. Just the three of us. Episode 47. Which was while I was still in France, admittedly, so it was a while ago. So it was back in May, I think. So yeah, we did have Alpha on his own. So you can go and watch that if you like. It's on Remlays' channel. We've asked Arch. I personally wasn't the one to ask him, but Arch has been asked, and he did not come on. He either refused or didn't reply. I don't remember the exact situation, but we have asked, and that's all I'm really going to say about it. We've asked, and that's the end of that. I guess it keeps it fresh. Yeah, that's the whole point. It keeps it fresh and keeps it, yeah. Oh, this advert's back. I remember that last year. My character does still have the craft world. That's how they get around from episode to episode, from world to world, and system to system. I don't make such a big deal of it anymore. One thing you'll notice about how I've done 40k stories is I've sort of drained the character back. That it's still got a little bit of my personal flair and personality, but the character arc is kind of in the background now. It's not quite what it used to be, if that makes sense. So yeah, he does, and I think it's a cool idea that there's the way that it all works and fits in the character in the universe. It's a bit stupid, I know, but I quite like it. One Mind Syndicate. We haven't asked them. I don't know why we haven't. I'm sure I could probably come up with some reasons if I really thought about it too hard. But we haven't asked them. And to be fair, I don't remember them working with anyone. Now that I think about it, I don't remember them working with anybody. Valrak. Valrak is someone I've spoken to Valrak very, very briefly, like once. So I could consider that, and I think he's someone that we'll probably speak to at some point, possibly. Though I make no promises, obviously, when you speak to Ramblazing to clear everything and diddly diddly dee. The guy behind Hell's Reach. If the guy behind Hell's Reach wants to come on the show, then if we send him a message and he wants to come on the show, then he's welcome to come on the show. But bear in mind though, now working with GW, I don't know if there might be some complications being a GW person. Now working at least alongside, not for, but alongside GW on this new series, that might complicate things. Which is why sometimes the Black Library people are a little harder to get on. What books would you recommend as major lore events? I'm currently listening to Horus Heresy, but looking for more to mix it up. In terms of major events, make sure you read probably Dark Imperium and Plague War. From the Heresy, well, you're already reading the Heresy, and I don't really know what you haven't read, so I'm not going to do that. Hell's Reach gives you some Armageddon context from the Third War. The Emperor's Gift gives you a bit of insight into the First War and the Months of Shame, which is quite a big deal if you're an Inquisition-minded person. Sisters-wise, there's the new audio drama coming with Celestine, so that would be a good one when that comes out. Other major ones. Depends on really what you're interested in. No, Valrak has not been on the podcast before. Kirioth has been on the podcast. And I don't know if you maybe got those two mixed up, but no, Valrak has not been on the podcast before. Like the Eisenstein. I would say you'll probably want to read Unremembered Empire. You'll want to read Fulgrim. Praetorian of Dawn might be an interesting one, because that's the start of the Solar War, although the Siege of Terror stuff is probably going to be more important. The First Heretic, definitely. Fear to Tread. Betrayer is very popular. Prospero Burns and 1,000 Suns, both very useful. There's plenty of heresy books that you can go and find. I'm sure anyone that is more qualified than me to recommend. I rule nothing out, but obviously I'm not in a position to just hand out guest ships on my own because it's co-hosts and all of that. It's not just my job. Well, that's a suggestion. Suggestion noted. The book that's called Fulgrim is book 5 of the Heresy. I don't know if you're maybe getting confused with Fulgrim the Palatine Phoenix, which is Fulgrim's personal novel in the Primarch series. Unless there's another book called Fulgrim that I don't know. Are you getting the name mixed up with Fulgrim the Palatine Phoenix? Khan vs Sigismund. Sigismund beat basically everybody. Like, old man Sigismund nearly beat Abaddon. Sigismund didn't lose. Almost ever. Sigismund didn't lose. That was kind of his shtick. Primarch series kind of disappointing most and don't delve into the infancy. Well, you can't always do that. They aren't designed to just be origin stories for all of them. Some of them are about key events in their lives, so Fulgrim is his reunion with his legion, dealing with the Blight and all of the things surrounding that. Khan, we get an insight into the Council of Nicaea, the debate about Psychers, I believe. I don't remember exactly what happens in every single one. Lorgar is about his home, and Perturabo is about his home, but they don't all have to be. That wasn't what they were designed to be. They're almost about the Primarchs, not origin stories for the Primarchs. They're two slightly different things. That's the one. Okay, good. I don't know how the hell, but I did. I like how the hell, but I like that. That's a cool line. I might use that line. I approve of that line. Shut up. Politically, yes, it probably would make sense. If you're on a world in a society that allows that, then I guess it politically might make sense to do that. Though, it's a dangerous political game to play to be married into several powerful families, because if one of them has a problem with another, you're caught in the middle. Keep that in mind. This was brought up earlier, but if Sigurd was to battle all the traitor champions during the Siege of Terra and didn't lose once, does that mean he beat Khan? We don't know who he fought. It just meant a bunch of powerful champions of the legions, like powerful warriors within the legions, doesn't necessarily mean it was Khan. Because bear in mind, Khan did die. We don't know I can't remember exactly what killed him, but Khan died. Keep that in mind. Khan did die. What happened to Cain? Bear in mind there's two Cains. There's the Eldari Cain and there's the Elven Cain. The Eldari Cain was the one that was absorbed by Slanesh and fought the Nightbringer and diddly diddly dee. The Elven Cain was the god that was like championed by Tyrion, his avatar, and then became more powerful, and then died in the end times, and fragments of his being came to rest in the mortal realms, one of which was his heart, the Iron Heart of Cain, which was recovered by Marathi from the Great Charybdis. Now she boycotts that thing and siphons the power off of it, so that Cain can't be resurrected, but she gets all the power out of it, and diddly diddly dee. There's two Cains, keep that in mind. Talking about Angels of Death, we've talked about it very, very briefly. I've seen the teaser trailer and I think it's a very cool trailer. I just don't want to say any more about it because obviously we haven't seen it yet. Wait and see. I think it'll be fun. It would be interesting if Sigismund was the one to kill Khan, although I think Sigismund would have probably taken his head. That's a pass. Go on. Go on. Gotta score. Gotta score. Oh, mate, you've got to score those. Gotta score that. You're 2 on 1. Never mind. No, they didn't run out of names. It's this. The Eldari and the Elves are very similar. Bear in mind that back in the day, a lot of the factions, like there were Skaven in 40k. The Elves and the Eldari were very, very similar back then. They have the same pantheon, just in different universes. Asian, Cain, Morai Head, Vol. They're the same deities. Remember that. Just in different universes. Haven't watched I mean, yeah, it's been like 3 months since I streamed, if not 3 to 6 months since I've streamed. So it's been a while for anybody. Oh yeah, I'm not doubting the animation quality of things like Hell's Reach, but it's more about whether the writing's any good and the voice acting's any good. So I don't doubt the animation quality's good, and if they get good voice actors, that'll be fine. If the writing's good, then that'll be important as well. That's what I mean by will it be any good. It needs to be the whole package, not just a good animator. A good animator with a bad script can only do so much. Patriarch of Cain. Yeah, that happened. That also happened. The Pantheon kinda does, kinda doesn't. It's the same Pantheon that does the same stuff and represents the same things, but certain events don't happen. So, the war in heaven between the Eldari and the Catan doesn't happen to the fantasy gods, the AOS gods. They're the same people, individuals, deities, beings, whatever. They stand for the same stuff. It's just the story for them is different. That's the main difference. So they do go cross game, but they're just not doing the same thing. So it's like the Chaos Gods in some ways. Octavius. I don't know who's going to win that. I think they'll just keep that one rumbling on permanently. I don't think they're going to resolve that one. Any new series? I don't have plans for a particular series. I realised I probably could have done a lot more with Champions of Humanity, but I wanted to do Gilman for 20,000, so I did. And I thought that would be an appropriate place to finish Champions of Humanity. Other than that, I don't have any plans for anything in particular, so no. I'm waiting for Siege of Terror. Yeah, the Emperor's Champion stuff would be fun to read. Khorne's only resurrected Khan once, to my knowledge. Khan just hasn't lost since. Or he certainly hasn't been killed since. From memory. I don't remember him being killed since his resurrection, so I don't know. I mean, Lucius can possess anyone after being killed, as long as they feel even slightly smug, so don't know. Sigismund is prime against pre-chaos Lucius. Lucius was an arrogant sod, but he wasn't that good. Loken beat him. So Sigismund would have schooled him, I think. Fighting is still going on in Armageddon, but I think rather than just continue to just pile everything into Armageddon, they decided to move the main conflict of the game to Vigilus, because it ties in with the lore of the Cicatrix Maledictum a little better to have it on a linchpin world like that. So Armageddon is still going, just Vigilus is now the big scrap to end all big scraps, because everybody's there. Yeah, Lucius turned traitor on Isfan 3. He sold out completely. His sort of full corruption conversion to what he is now took place later with the Emperor's Children, but yeah, his flip to chaos and treachery was Isfan. Okay, in this room for about an hour. Who hasn't turned up on Planet Box Game? Drukhari, Tau, Grey Knights, Sisters, Nids, Just Genius Deal the Cults, Harlequins. I think the only ones that are there are Craftworld's Chaos, Imperial, Genius Dealer Cult, and Orcs. So it's not as many as you'd think. Dante isn't taking care of Vigilus because Vigilus is pretty much at the border. I forget which side of the gauntlet is actually on, but it's kind of important to both sides that it stays open, so everybody's dealing with it, rather than just Dante. Would GW kill Lucius for good? I don't think so. Just because of his poster boy status, I do think they'll keep him alive. And the fact that they can constantly just write him back to life means that they don't have to worry about it. Armageddon to be the Orky Eye of Terror. I mean, the idea of the Ragnarok and just like the never-ending war, this Gazgul's thing, and Armageddon is part of that, but I don't think they're going to use Armageddon to summon Gork and Mork. The Ragnarok is much wider than that. From what I remember from Wild Gazkul anyway, the Ragnarok is much wider. Clear it. Thank you. Maybe it is on the Nihilist side, but either way, you can understand why both sides of the Imperium need that world, so both sides commit to it, Gilman included. So, it makes sense that way. Kill Khan, cause to resurrect him. Possibly. The Great Rift broke the Orcs' plans. Oh, where's my old Codex? They don't seem that fussed about it. The idea of the Great Rift to them, from what I remember, is it's Gork just giving them endless stuff to fight. Just by constantly spewing out more chaos stuff for them to fight. Or it's that Gork attempted to swallow everything up, got indigestion, just barfing out this horrid chaos stuff. And it means that his boys always have something to fight. So, I don't know about that. So, maybe. Yeah, my team's winning. It's only 1-0, but we are winning. There we go, Carnage. You're resurrected or elevated. The death of Lucius the Eternal is the never-ending plot point. Because they've written themselves into a corner of there are so many ways that Lucius could die, and they just have to not put him up against that scenario. So they'll just not write him fighting Drago unless they want him dead for good. The Nids and the Great... To be fair, the Nids have developed High Fleet Kronos, which is like anti-chaos, the High Fleet. So they have got plans in place, to be fair to the Tyranids. Do they will see a new Keeper of Secrets? Plausibly. I don't want to say when, but I think it's very, very plausible that we will see a new Keeper of Secrets at some point. Yes, Kronos. I think it's spelled with a K as opposed to a CH, but... Gork is brutal but cunning, Mork is cunning but brutal. As for Lucy's activity, I don't actually know. I haven't got the Chaos Space Marine Codex, so I'm not exactly sure. I don't really follow him that close. Oh, touch. It possibly is. I don't know. I haven't really tracked Kronos that closely to know quite how powerful it actually is. But it'll be dangerous. Maybe not Leviathan dangerous, but dangerous. If Emperor's Children get a codex, will we see the supposed Grey Knight? It's heavily implied, but it might not actually be a Grey Knight, just the Silver Knight they call them. And no, I don't think so. There'll be Fulgrim, Lucius, potentially Bile, the Mask, named Keeper of Secrets. They'll be the named characters at most. There'll be 5 at most, 4 more likely. I don't think they'll include Bile, or they won't do a named Keeper of Secrets. I think they should do an Innkeeper of Secrets though. The current lore, I believe that at the moment Typhus is the most active because he's like championing for Nurgle in the Scourge Stars. Oh, what a... Oh, bloody hell. I believe Typhus has been very, very busy. As for Khan and Ahriman and Lucius, I feel like they're still busy, but not to the same degree that we know about. Eidolon. Did Eidolon survive? Oh, did Eidolon live? I can't remember if Eidolon lived at this point. I've forgotten. It's been like 2 years since I made that video. I've forgotten the fate of Lord Commander Eidolon. Oh, go away. Magnus, last we knew for Magnus was Stygius. I think that's the last place I can confirm Magnus was the Stygius sector. Though I'm sure he has been elsewhere. He was banished at Luna, and I think his forces were sent into Stygius, and I believe he was there, though I can't remember for sure. Okay, we're just going to roast Lord Commander Eidolon now. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the Emperor's Children generally, and Eidolon is not a character I particularly like, but then I don't really like any of the Emperor's Children, so no comment, because I'm not a huge fan of that legion in general. Initiative 7 Thunderhammer says otherwise. Woo! Initiative 7 Thunderhammers. Yeah, that's... Oh, what a touch. Yeah, he's better than Lucius. Yeah, there is football in the background, yes. I've had a game of football on this entire stream. Have you just noticed? Eidolon is not confirmed dead. I didn't think he died. I don't remember writing about his death. But, yeah. Yeah, Tarbit's got shafted. Tarbit's got shafted, but sometimes one of this character has to die so that the evil characters can get a moment of good stuff. So, yeah, sorry Tarbits, you got shafted for the benefit of everybody else. Eidolon was... Yeah, actually Eidolon did die, but he came back. There is nothing about upcoming Loyalist Monarchs outside just random rumour mill that I know of. I haven't seen anything or heard anything concrete, so just rumour. And that rumour will never go away. Bear that in mind. Samus. Samus is the Demon Prince of the Ruin Storm, manifested on Istvan 3, if I recall correctly, and has also shown up in other times and places, though I don't remember exactly where all of them are. Best led up for Chaos Warriors. Shields make them very, very annoying. I've fought against Chaos Warriors with shields. They're annoying. The spear variant versus the hand weapon variant, I think it's probably just up to you. But I don't have a problem with either variant. The bigger the unit, obviously the better spears get because of the reach, but I think probably shield and something is probably the best way to take them, for me. Has there been a time where two demon bronze have worked together in a fight against a common enemy? Gilman. They all worked against him, not at the same time, technically. Other occasions. You know, I'm actually struggling. Oh, I am actually struggling. Well, I know Demon Pert was involved in the 10th Black Crusade, Magus did Prospero a couple of times, Angron was at Armageddon, but I don't remember them being more than one at any one time, aside from like Abaddon going to see them all for the 13th Black Crusade or something. Daughters of Cain for life. I like my Daughters of Cain. I've got a smallish kind of growing army of Daughters of Cain that I have a hobby project for that I'm not getting time to update. So I do agree I like Daughters of Cain. They're awesome, but yeah, it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're very, very powerful. I've been kind of put off them. That was 2 traitor Primarchs working together, but neither of them were demons originally, and Lorgar was not a demon until after the heresy, so technically doesn't count. Emperor's Children need a major rework. Possible. Morathi just conning everybody. I mean, the whole thing with Volturnos and the mask, that was ridiculous. I was reading that, I was like, what have you done, Morathi? Why have you done that? Slamhead. Calth. I don't know the name was on Prime for Calth. What do you think Luther will do? Oh, interesting. Don't know. I feel like I feel like not a lot. I feel like if Luther's going to come as a plot point, he'll only become a plot point if Lion is involved. So I don't think we're going to see anything. Going Sisters. I think they'll be fine. I don't know how powerful they are because I'm not enough of an experienced gamer to be able to gauge it, and I also don't play in a meta that includes Sisters, so I have no idea. But I think they'll be fine. They'll be tweaked. It's a beta. So I think they'll be fine. What did Morathi do with Volturnos? There was a proposed meeting between Morathi and Volturnos, and Morathi didn't show, and sent the Mask of Slanesh there in her place to ambush Volturnos, if I remember it correctly. Ireland is a lieutenant of Abaddon. Okay. Fulgar would try to bind one of the Demon Primarchs in his command again. No, because he'd probably get killed for his trouble. At this point, he'd probably get killed for his trouble. Also, the binding of under control, the only thing I think of that's like that is the whole converting Angron. I don't remember him ever binding a traitor Demon Primarch to his will. I don't remember that. Strongest Demon Primarch depends on how far apart they start. Magnus has got them at range, Mortarion probably has some speed, Magnus has speed, Angron has speed, Fulgrim has an assload of speed. Melee wise, hard to say. Depends probably on where they start from and what abilities they have access to. Why did Morathi do that? Because Morathi is a dick. Morathi is a titanic dick. She's not cool, she is very cruel, and as much as you might like her character and what she does, she's also a titanic arse. Sorry Morathi, you just are. I mean, I could be misremembering from the Ideneth Battle Tome. It's in like the timeline of the Ideneth Battle Tome from the Age of Sigmar section. But I think that I got that right. I might be wrong though, because I might be mistranslating the French. Because that Battle Tome I own is in French. Oh, come on, ref. That was late. Have a look. It's clumsy fair. Morathi does have, indeed, no chill. Anyway, I'm probably going to wrap up in a few minutes. I'm running a little bit low on battery, and I didn't want to go too long tonight, so I might go for another like 5 to 10 minutes before I call it. So if you have any last questions or comments, then now's your chance, people. The snake aesthetic is a cool one, and the Melisai, Morathi and co do look cool, we'll give you that. Volturnos survived, it's all cool. For now. Is Faber still making clones at first, or did he finally give up? Can't remember. Can't remember. Probably given up at this point. Because he's got Probaris to study. Somebody's mad. Thank you, Owen. Let's have a look. What? He's onside. Okay. Oh, go. There's a teensy tap on his. Oh, if you give that, then we're basically playing a non-contact sport. Come on, referee. Good. No, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. Show off. AOS lore videos. I've said this before. I don't have time to make more lore videos. I'm barely keeping up. What the heck? I'm barely keeping up enough to make 40k stories. I don't have time to do more scripts. So if there is AOS lore videos on the channel, it will not be me making them unless I suddenly find twice as many hours in the week to work on, research and edit them. Because I don't have the time. Keeper! What are you doing? Oh, what on earth was that? He's offside. He's offside. Lino. Thank you, Lino. Good. Super armies. I don't mind, I think it's right that they're banned from competitive to stop just stupid interactions breaking the game. So, I don't mind them thematically, but yeah. Thoughts on the points drop for most armies? Good. More armies being competitive, more units being viable is always good. More options is good. I think that's great. To be fair, I've played football since I was like 10. I've got a league title sat in my kitchen from under 16s. I won a league at under 16s football. I've been playing rugby since I went to uni. I've been playing football way longer than that, to be fair. Anything fun for Yanari? Did the Yanari get anything? Did the Yanari get anything? The Yanari got nothing. They got nothing, man. Nothing at all. No changes for Yanari. Do you think the Chaos Realms and AOS will get realm rules? No. Certainly not in the foreseeable, unless they actually decide that Chaos is just going to full-on invade the Mortal Realms in more than one sense of just sending its armies at it. Like, if they want the entire a realm region to become a hellscape where the Realm of Chaos has leaked through, then maybe. But no, I don't think so. Yeah, I know, we call it football. What you call football. If you're playing Aussie rules, I suppose that's not. Then again, Kiwi. Do they have like New Zealand rules football, which is sort of a mix between handball, hand egg, and all sorts of other stuff? Can't remember. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert on that sort of stuff. Hey, sorry. Been a long day. Roast, shots fired in the chat. Shots fired in the chat. Man over! Man over! Oh, what a ball. Touch and bang, touch and bang. I know it's not my team, but damn, that's a good goal. Robot? No. I don't know, my whistling maybe just didn't agree with my microphone, I don't know. That's a really nice goal. Oh my god, the defending. Oh, the defending is awful. Oh, what are you doing? But that touch and bang, it's a lovely goal. But dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Never mind. Yeah, it's all right. I thought it was. Dark Reaper point drops bracing them. There were a few significant point drops, to be fair. The Crisis Battlesuit went down by about 15 points. The Broadside went down by about 15 to 20 points. There was some significant drops knocking about. I think the Iron Accelerator plummeted by like 20 points. Yeah, 1-1. Don't worry, this game's getting into its business end. I'm not going to sit here and do a stream through the business end of a football match. Oh, come on, talk. Too slow. No, it is not hand egg. Hand egg is like as many ad breaks as it is plays. Damn it. God, you're scaring me now. Well done. Oh yeah, Shadows and Farsight lost like 20, 30, 40 points each. It was silly how much those two got cheapened by. Now you say it. I remember now. Shadows like lost 40 points, you're right. To be fair, Crisis and Broadside, well, Crisis particularly kind of sucked. They did kind of suck. So them getting that points drop is significant, but also necessary, I think, for their health. Anyway, we're coming up on an hour and a half of stream, so I think I'm going to check out here and do all of that. So, thank you very, very much to everyone who's come to the stream. I think we saw nearly 40 people in the chat at peak, which was quite impressive for a random Tuesday. So, thank you for coming out. I do hope you enjoyed the stream, and it was at least somewhat of an interesting conversation, because I know I was a little bit distracted for periods, but no more distracted than when I'm painting, I guess. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be streaming soon. We'll see, I guess. We'll find out. And hopefully I'll be getting out a battle report or two in the coming days. I hope in the next couple of weeks there'll be battle reports. There's the year in review, which I always do this time of year, sort of a channel year in review. And I might do a hobby year in review as well, just to see. And maybe I've got a few videos I can do around this time of year, so I might do those. But either way, thank you very much for watching the stream, and if you are new around here, we do have a Discord that we occasionally plug. Not much, but we do occasionally plug it in streams, so you're welcome to pop along there and to converse with the people in the chat that you're speaking to now. I may or may not be along later. We shall see. They'll see how this football match goes and how my time is looking. Come on, pass it, pass it, pass it, right! Sorry, football. No! Who's following up at the back post? Who's following up at the back post? Damn it. Anyway, before I get too overexcited about the football match, I'm going to go. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Tactica Imperialis. And good night.